Alright guys, been a while since I put a video out. I thought I'd throw this video out for this. We got us in here 2015 Chevrolet Cruze. Just going to show you a few things on it as far as, being able to do some greasing when they don't have grease zerks on them. Like on your wheel bearing hub here. On some of these vehicles, if you can get your, like on this one here, it's a T30 Torx bolt. Just take that out, kind of wiggle your ABS unit or your sensor. Just pull it off the side. I already greased this one here, guys. And what you do, get you one of these here grease needlers, and what you want to do, guys, put that down in there, and you may have to fill around a little bit to get it to drop right down in there where the bearing is. But if you move, see it just drop down in there. Now, this way you are down in right where the bearing is, guys. And what I did is I pumped probably about 15 pumps of grease in there to get this wheel bearing hub greased up real good. Will extend the life of your wheel bearing hubs tremendously. Not sure why they don't put those, grease zerks, some way of greasing them bearings in there. Yeah, probably because they want you to, keep buying parts. Be the only thing I know, because they could have figured out a way of doing that. And the same with your tie rod end, guys. What I did here, put me a little pinhole in there from that needle greaser. Pump that full of grease. Now, if you pump too much in there, guys, it will start oozing out this hole. So you can't pump a lot in there, but you can, excuse me, get yourself some grease in there. So you're getting that lubed up real good. Same with your lower control arm ball joint right there. Right here, guys. Get that out of the way there. Right there on your lower ball joint, put a little pinhole in there. And actually that one there was kind of low on grease there. I actually pumped quite a bit of grease in that to get that to swell out a little bit there. So we got that greased up real good there. And that way you get good service life out of that. You get a whole lot more years. Keep you from having to spend money on replacement parts and taking it in, and that's where they really get you at. It's on the labor. On the parts are probably not all that bad to replace on these Chevy Cruzes. Your Chevy Malibus, maybe your Chevrolet Camaros, the newer ones. You're not sure on the newer Blazers how them are set up. But also, guys, whenever you're taking stuff apart, like this here was kind of corroded up a little bit. And what I like to do when I put stuff back together, get you a little bit of this anti-seize and put some anti-seize. Same with if you're taking your struts off, you want to anti-seize that stuff. So, because the salt and stuff will eventually get that corroded up real bad, and you might have a hard time breaking those nuts loose and stuff and getting the bolts out of there. So anytime you got something like that, go ahead, throw your little anti-seize on there. That way when you got to change something again, it's a whole lot easier getting that stuff off there. And I don't know why they don't put them on these grease zerks on these. They had it, there's a perfect spot right there and right under here to put a grease zerk, and they don't do it. Like I said, probably wanting you to, keep replacing parts on them. Now, like my older Blazers, that particular Blazer right there, that's got all grease zerks on the front end on that, the ball joints, the tie rods, and all that's greasable on that thing. And you know, I kept everything greased up. Every 5,000 miles, I rotate the tires on it. Just go ahead and shoot a little grease in each one of them fittings. And that Blazer there, I had 250,000 miles on it before I even changed the ball joints on that. And actually, the ball joints weren't even that bad. Probably wouldn't even had to replace them, but I went ahead and did it anyway since I had it tore apart. But you know, 250,000 miles on that, that's pretty good service life on the ball joints on that, on a vehicle like that. It's because they got grease zerks on them. These newer vehicles, they don't. If you got some way of greasing them, guys, it's gonna save you some money. You're gonna get a whole lot more miles out of the stuff, and it's just a better way of doing it. You know, keeping everything lubed up real good. You're gonna get a whole lot more life out of it. And like I said, now not all vehicles you'll be able to do that to, guys. There's like I had a Lincoln Town Car, and those I could not. There was just no way of getting grease into the bearing. It was fully enclosed. There's no place for me to get grease into it. And now on this Cruze here, you could do the back. The problem with the back ones on these, the wheel bearing hub, is where you got to pull the ABS sensor up out of there. Right up above that is a fitting for your brake line, and I was unable to get that sensor all the way up out of there. If I could have got it all the way out, I would have been able to grease those too, but I didn't want to have to take the brake line off and then go through and have to bleed all the brakes on, you know, bleed the brake system out on it. And so I don't know if the rear would actually be worth going to all that hassle, because the parts on these are probably pretty cheap. It's just the labor's where they're going to get you at on doing most of that stuff. But the parts are not bad. You know, if you're going to replace them yourself. So, but anyways, guys, I thought I'd throw that video out there, help some people save a little bit of money on that. On you know, greasing your wheel bearing hubs and your tie rod end, your lower ball joint there. It's going to save, you get, like I said, on that Blazer, I got a lot of miles out of that thing. And actually, I've never changed the tie rods. Tie rod ends never been changed. And your crossbar underneath there, that's all got grease zerks on it. That's never been changed on that. And same with my wife's 1999 Chevy Blazer. That Blazer of hers got 384,000 miles on it, and nothing has been done to that. I did change the I think at 300,000, or no, I think around 350,000 before I changed the I had to change out the upper control arms. So I went ahead and did the ball joints on it too, on the lower ball joints, because the bushings on the upper control arm were completely worn out. So when we took it in to have it lined up, they said the you know, the bushings were completely out of it, so them needed replaced. And but I mean, that's, you know, 384,000 miles. I'd say that's pretty good, not having to change any of that stuff. It's because they got grease zerks on them. Keep that stuff greased up, guys. You'll get a whole lot of miles out of them. Going to save you a whole lot of money. So, anyways, guys, that'll wrap this video up on the 2015 Cruze on doing your wheel bearing grease and, you know, some of the other stuff that you can grease on those.